Sure.
And I can,
It's recording right now.
all right, good, thank you. Okay, where am I now? Okay. Gotta view the gallery. Okay, looks like I got everything set up. After I sent you those couple of pictures,
Yeah,
I found these other pictures that I thought would be more productive of the tutorial.
yeah,
The flower picture, I know some people are bored by it, but I like the textures and the colors and I mean,
yeah.
flowers are interesting, and I screwed around with the vibrance and the changing the color balances, and it's really remarkable what beautiful things can come from those kinds of adjustments.
Yeah, it looked good. You
It's
did
not just a
well.
record, as they say, a record shot.
Yeah, this one's going to be challenging. We'll see what we can do with the one that's behind you right now.
Yeah, yeah.
And I guess I can just start on that and Alan can join us when he gets here. I'm going to share my screen. Not yet. Sorry. I have to open the file first. And it looked like the very first one that was in the list that you sent me. That you sent me 3 images.
Does it have a number on it so I can follow?
I renamed it Street Scene, but it was the first in the email that you sent me. It was the very first one because it had the best verticals in it. Is why I chose it.
The first one. I'm gonna have to look for it now. See which one I sent you. Okay, the first one is, yeah, I think that one is, okay, I think I see it. In fact, yeah, that's the one I think I have behind me, but I can't see myself now. But I'm looking at the one that I think was the first one I sent you.
Yeah, I have it up on the screen now. Can you see?
Oh, all right, let me close mine off then, just a minute. Okay, let me see. I don't see your screen.
Yeah, hang on a second. I have to share it. I've got a bunch of windows open. Okay. You see it okay?
Yes, I see that one. Yeah, I think that's the one I've got open now myself as I watch what you're gonna do.
Okay. Well, the first thing I would do, is that Alan? Nope. The first thing I would do is get all the verticals aligned. So, well, actually, no, that'll be the second thing I'll do. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here and you would, if you took this as raw, I would open it up in Camera Raw. So I'm going to go to Filter Camera Raw, which you can go to anytime.
Okay.
And so I'm just looking at it and thinking, okay, I know I have to fix the verticals. The greens of the leaves, were you thinking that could use a little more enhancement?
Well, my particular interest was the alignment along the right side
Yeah,
of the picture and the upper part of the sign.
yeah,
I thought I might have had another picture with more of the sign, but I don't think I do. But I don't want to crop away any of the sign. I want to get that, of course, I want to get it vertical.
yep,
And then there's that part of the molding along the middle there that's got me distracted, that beige, yeah,
Right
right
here.
there. And
yeah,
I don't know if that's trivial, or, if it looks like it's a piece of a broken part of that molding.
It could be, but we can fix it easy. We can clone that easily and fix that.
Okay, and then the other thing that I was want to do is to keep that beige wall, which you don't see in that particular image. But if there's another image,
This beige wall,
yeah. Yeah, the one that's the first one that I sent you, not the first one maybe, but it's the one that was before anything was touched, before I did any straightening
uh-huh,
and or transforming. And that one has an attractive beige border, I thought, which you don't see on the one you have up now.
okay.
It was the very first in the series. And what I don't like about the picture you have up now, one of the things I don't like is I don't like that white edge. It looks like, well, I mean,
Over here.
trivial, I mean, but I'd rather have that beige stucco wall that you don't see on.
Oh, I see. It's on the other side of that. Well, let's see if I can grab the other image. Let's see. So the one I have up is this one. Oh, you can't see my, never mind. Oh, I see that beige stucco. Yeah. So here's something really interesting, and I'll show you. It's an interesting technique. I'm going to open up, I'm going to save this one as well. And I'm going to, it's number 3 on your list. And I'm going to save that. So hang on a second. And I just called it Street Scene 2. And I'm going to open up that one. Okay, so what I did, just to let you know, this is the original one that we were just looking at. And
Okay. Well, the word original is the one that I started off with, and we may be a little out of order with the 3 that you
Okay.
have numbered or named.
yeah, I chose number 3.
Okay, good. Okay,
And we'll open that up next. But
okay.
just letting you know, I enhanced that green a little here
Oh, I see, yeah.
in order to give it a little bit more, not too much because you don't want to drag the eye too far, but.
Yeah, I see.
Okay. I'm going to interrupt for a second.
Yes.
We're going to Mexico tomorrow, and I can't really participate. And I apologize.
Oh,
for
no,
getting
that's
to
fine.
not participate, and I'm just going to miss this opportunity.
You got things to do.
Maybe I'll look at the review.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I do. With family last night with some of the family. Blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
thanks.
It's
Thanks
being
for doing this,
recorded,
Eric,
Alan.
and my
Take
apologies.
care, Alan.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, so I'm just going to say okay to this. And that's the image, but I'm going to open up the Street Scene 2. Which is this one. So
Oh, yeah, that's the one that I started off with.
yeah. So you're talking about this texture over here in the wall.
On the right side, I can't see your cursor, but it's where the
Yeah.
flag, where the sign is attached. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Over there. Okay. Here's something really cool just to let you know, and then we'll figure out how we want to do it. But I can take and clone this texture from this picture and put it in the other picture.
oh,
And I don't have to cut it out. I don't have to do anything. So let's do this. If you had your druthers, would you want like a little bit of that texture over here?
yeah, yes.
All right. So the first thing we have to do is we have to make our canvas size wider.
Oh, before you go, you didn't make a copy of the background. Isn't that standard procedure for you? Normally you'd make a copy of the background?
Yeah, and I will,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Okay, so
Canvas.
I'm gonna make it 100 pixels wider. And then, once you do that, you can grab, oh, I have to convert this to a normal layer. So all you do is see it's locked. And all that means is it wants to keep you from doing anything weird. So at this point, I'll duplicate the layer. And now I'm on background copy. And then I'm going to just click on this image and I'm just going to drag it over there.
Oh, I get you. You're making room.
I'm making room. So now we've got all this room over here. And then I'm going to take this other street scene, excuse me, I'm going to take it and I'm going to drag it in to the frame over here. And
Okay,
then, oh, you want to know how to do that?
I'm looking to see which image is open. You dragged it, I know. So we're seeing two images now in the
Yeah.
frame?
So this is the first one that you
Yeah.
started to straighten.
Right,
And this is the one that has the texture on the side.
okay,
that
yeah,
we might want
Okay.
to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I just drag this one down so that it overlaps this frame.
mhm.
And then I'm going to take the clone tool and I'm going to use a pretty small brush. That's a 50 right now. And you have to do Alt and click. And then that will take this texture that's here. And I'm going to come over into this image. So I have to click on it to highlight it.
One second, go back one step because
Okay.
it's hard for me to follow your cursor is small on my screen.
Yeah, well, it's not the cursor anymore. So I'm coming over here
I see it.
and then I have to change to the clone tool, which you can't really see.
I see it.
Okay. So I got the clone tool and I'm going to do Alt and click. And then I come over here to the first image. And then I'm going to, can you see that there's some
Yeah.
texture?
Yeah.
And I can start painting in there.
Oh, that's very cool. So
So
the
I could paint anything from that image. And just to make it clean, I'm going to make myself a box so that it only paints within that image, within the dancing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to come back over and click here again, and I'm going to, I can even clone this little part here. Let's try to make it really.
Yeah, that'd be great if you could do that.
Sure. So it's about right in here. So there's your bracket.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Wow, stop a minute. It's amazing. Wow. So the first clone that you use option identifies the source.
Yep.
And then you painted, I saw that part of it. Then you went back and did the bracket and you did option select for that particular source.
Yep.
You went down and you put the bracket in. And then as you continued with your cursor, you went out of the black brace and then you continued painting the beige stucco.
Right.
Without doing it.
Right. And it's a tiny hair off, but I'll even fix that for you. So I'm going to come back here and I'm not using the smaller image anymore.
Yeah.
Because I have what I need. I have some texture and I have the bracket.
Okay,
So
good.
I'm going to close that guy.
All right.
And now I'm going to clone So I'm using Option key
Mhm.
and I'm clicking on the texture. And now I'm just making more texture. Now you
Now
can see,
on this one image, the plus sign denotes the source. And as you move around, that plus sign moves around. But when you went from one image to the next, I didn't see that plus sign show up on the source.
the plus sign was on the other one as well.
Okay. This is very cool. Thank you. Wow.
Yeah, so we'll have all this texture in here. We
And
can
when you go
even,
back and forth over and over it again, does that intensify the effect?
no, I'm just trying to get enough of it so
Okay.
that it makes it easy to clone it. So now I've got a big enough section that I can do lots of things. Now I'll come back and finish this little bracket here in a second. I'm just gonna make it a little smaller so I can go in here. I can even go a little bigger. And just Option. Okay. So once you've got a section of it like this, then I can come up to the very top of that section and click on it. And now I can do a bigger piece. So can you see that little shadow that comes up at the top of the circle?
Yep.
That's getting close to where the bracket is.
Oh,
And if you look up here, see where they've got size and hardness?
yeah. What's that? The size of the source?
That's the size of the circle that I'm using to clone with.
Yeah. Right.
Right. And hardness is at 26. The higher you bring that up, the less you're going to see that bracket.
Okay.
Lower, because it wants to, when the hardness is fairly low, it wants to kind of find a little bit of whatever's around it to blend.
Mhm.
But we don't need any of that.
You know, what I was interested in is when you did the bracket from the first image,
Yep.
you did Option click to clone, but it was interesting to me that it cloned the correct shape. That whole square bracket got cloned.
Because my brush, when I did it, that plus sign, I covered all around that bracket when I did it.
I see.
So I moved it around to get all the rectangle.
That was very cool. I like that.
Yeah, and it's instant gratification too, which is
Yeah,
nice.
I thought I was gonna have to cut and paste or something.
Yeah. All right. So that's our bracket. So now I'm going to come in and fix that bracket. So if you notice here, it's not exactly perfect.
Yeah.
And that's because I can make this bracket portion a little bit bigger because this is fairly thick and this is not as thick.
Mm-hmm.
So I did Control T.
That's transform.
Yeah. And I'm just going to slide it over a little bit so that it's the same size as the original.
That transform tool is very handy,
It is very handy.
very flexible tool.
And now I'm going to go back to the clone tool. And I'm going to add a little bit of thickness. It's actually twisting, which is kind of,
Well, you can see the upper part of that post is twisting.
yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe I can take a section.
You know, at first I thought that was weird, but I think that's the way it is. in
Yeah,
real
no,
life.
that's the way it is, looks like. Okay, so that's pretty good because no one's gonna be looking at it as closely as we are.
But
Fortunately.
there's a vertical piece of yeah, that's it. Or you're cloning from the texture from the stucco.
Yeah, and I'm using an area that's just about in the same, vertical location.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
And now I'm fixing a little seam there. And I'll come down and fix this little piece here. And the shadow looks good. It's still maintained. It looks pretty normal. This shadow here.
Yeah. Mhm.
So I'm okay with that.
There's a part of the uppermost part that you didn't fix.
Now,
Yeah, right there.
that's a little distracting. So we should clone that out.
Yeah. Can't you just do what you did before, use the clone tool and go up?
Yeah. So I'm gonna choose a spot here. Huh. Let's try that again.
I would have used white to go straight up.
You see how there's got that discoloration there?
Yeah.
So I'm going to use a bigger area. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to,
See, now I would have thought when you selected your source, you selected it on the white.
Yeah.
And then as you moved over into the stucco, the source changed to stucco.
yep.
Did I miss that?
So it's going to go wherever I am. So here's my source
Yeah,
right here.
yeah,
But if as I paint, I'll just do it. It's painting stucco now over here because it moved. I'll show you a little more dramatically so you can see it better.
or did you have to select a new source?
No. So watch. This is my source right here,
Yeah,
but I'm gonna start painting over here in the stucco just to show you. But guess what happens? Watch the plus sign.
oh, I get your point. Sure, that's in the source spot moves.
Yep. So the plus
get it.
is where the cloning information comes from.
Okay, that was cool.
Yeah.
Look how nice that is. Good job. As you said, you're not zooming in. I think that looks better, don't you? Instead of
Yeah,
having the white,
much better. Now, we still have some little bit of work to do because
yeah, it's not straight.
I'm going to take the dancing ants and I'm going to transform and I'm going to skew this.
How did you get that selected the whole box?
So
Oh, I see. Okay, I get it. I forgot. Yep. Okay.
that's it. And then Control T
Yep.
is transform,
Yeah.
skew. And then I'm going to remember the guidelines, which are
Yeah.
over here in the rulers.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring that over. And then I'm going to skew this box
You were pretty close before.
so it's straight up and down.
Yeah.
So now we've got that.
Now, how did you stop that action? You just clicked on that. Yeah.
Clicked on this guy. Okay, so now I'm gonna take away the guideline. Do you see how I'm doing that?
Yeah, I do.
You
Mhm.
go above and just grab it
Yeah.
and drag
Mhm.
it back over there. Okay, so this kind of putty color here,
I don't even mind that now, but let's see if,
yeah, it doesn't look bad now, but
no,
we still have a little bit to fix, I think, because it really needs to come across here.
now you don't use that lasso tool very often, you said.
Uh,
Oh, that's the polygonal.
polygonal, yeah, line tool.
Okay, now what are you doing now? You've selected the area of interest. And what are you
Yeah.
gonna do?
I'm gonna fill that piece, but I just changed tools because the feather, see up here up top,
Yeah. Mhm.
is 2 pixels, so it's gonna have a soft edge, but I don't want a soft edge. I want 0 pixels. So I want a hard edge in order to make this look better. And that hard edge is gonna come like here. And I'm gonna clone there. Okay, so I'm gonna go back over and I'm gonna get the clone. And remember, the clone can only work within the dancing ants as far as putting color down.
Yeah,
I can select from anywhere,
right.
but if I wanna paint it, it's
Yep.
only gonna paint there.
Yep, what happened?
It went too far over into shadow. I need to be further over here.
Okay, now stop for 1 second. Oh, I see. Could you do Control Z? I find myself having to make changes a lot. And if I make a mistake such as you just did, I would have tried to correct myself by going to Control Z. Would that step me back?
You don't have to, because when you clone, it's gonna cover up whatever was there previously.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So I've got this clone spot. That's my source selection.
Yeah.
I'm gonna paint in over here. And
Why are we getting that gray coming in? Oh, I see, because
yeah, I had moved too far over that direction. So now I'm gonna do it again, pick another spot in that marble. And you can see, watch the plus sign, right? I'm not
yeah,
in
I get you.
that
Don't go too
shadow.
far. Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't hit the shadow area that time.
look at that. How nice that was.
So
Nice,
I'm gonna
nice.
touch it up even a little bit more, because I would, if it was mine, I would do it that way. So I'm gonna make a very small brush, maybe 10, yeah. And see my opacity up at the top
Yeah,
is 100%. Well, I'm gonna make that more like 40%. And the reason I'm doing that is I want to blend this shape color here on this
Mhm.
windowsill into here a little bit. So I'm going to make it bigger. And by blending this, it's giving a little bit of shadow from that gray portion,
Mhm.
and it just cleaned it up.
Pretty hard to see it from the, except if you're zoomed out, zoomed
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Now, there's one part of it that's got me a little bit, I don't know if it's an optical illusion,
Yeah.
but the width of the yellow beige stucco
Yep.
at the bottom looks narrower than the width at the top.
Yeah.
Does it look that way to you?
Yeah. And here's what we need to do. We'll put you
Guide.
can see now that it's not the stucco, because I just put the guideline in there and that's perfect. So what it is, it's the marble. See how the marble's got a little more?
Yeah, I do see, yeah.
So the marble's got a little thinner at the top than it is at the bottom. But guess what? We can clone that and no one will be the wiser. So I'm going to take my dancing ants and I am going to make let's see. I'm going to do it this way. I'll blow it up so you can see it better. So I made a selection here
Mhm.
and I want all of that. So I'm bringing it all the way over to that edge. And now I'm going to do, instead of, if I try to paint the marble, it's not going to paint it because it can only paint inside the dancing ants.
Right.
Unless I go up to select inverse.
Okay.
And now I can paint anything around it. It won't, anything that was inside the dancing ants, it won't touch, but it will touch everywhere else. Oops, I
No,
still
but
have it on.
you're still using the clone stamp tool,
Yep,
and I'm watching the X, which is your source or the option.
so
Show me your source again.
I'm just picking a spot on the marble there.
Okay.
And now I'm gonna bring it down. And you see the plus sign is following me?
I do.
Okay. And now I'm just gonna turn everything off.
Now, what did you accomplish there? Let me look at it a second. Okay. Now, I was looking at the beige stucco. And the uppermost part of that beige stucco looks to me wider than the lower part of that stucco.
Hey,
Maybe I'm, it's an illusion of some kind.
no, it's not the stucco, it's the marble. So I just made the marble here a little bit wider in order to make these two look straight up and down.
Oh,
But
smart.
See, this looks narrow now,
Yes.
and this looks wide up here.
Yeah.
So if I bring my vertical tool, my alignment tool, see how far that is off?
Yeah.
So I can fill that in too, and it'll get rid of that illusion. So let's, I'll get my dancing ants, and this time I'm going to put it inside of here because I feel pretty safe that I can do it. And I'm going to click here.
That's your source.
Yep, and then I'm going to
And you're
just go over
painting
here.
only goes inside the dancing ants. Okay, good. Very,
Now, does that look better?
indeed.
Yeah, it's a little bit off over here now.
Well, now why wouldn't you use the free transform tool? Or I mean, to get it just a slight bit straight, because I guess that's because it'll straighten the whole picture out.
It would do everything,
Yeah.
including the stucco. Now, here's a trick though. Let's try this. What we could do is take my selection tool. I'm going to go right up against the edge of where our stucco is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to just transform that portion, not the stucco,
Mm-hmm.
because this is leaning. I can also
Yeah.
give myself a guide to see how much it's leaning.
Yeah.
Can you see how much? It's just like that much right there.
Yeah.
And so what I'll do is I did Control T, I'll do skew. And it may not work for us. Because it's going to mess up our, yeah, it'll mess up our
The post.
bracket that we spent that time on.
Yeah.
But let's go the other way. I can do Control T and I can skew it this way from the bottom. See how that's opening up right there?
Yeah.
I'll give it a little more. I'm making it big so you can see it, but
Mhm.
you can't see the whole thing. Okay, so now this area is about equal all the way up now.
Yeah.
And let's see what that looks like.
Now, at this moment, I'm still perplexed by, you're done, let us say you're done, or you are done now, and
Yeah.
you want to think about something else right now. You put Control S, do you save this? Not save as, but you save it so you
Yeah,
can
sure,
come
you
back to it and do another thing?
Yeah, you can save it.
Okay, so I would,
And come back to the exact same file.
okay, so you can save it and
Yep.
then stay on that same file and start a new layer. No?
Sure, if I want to.
Okay, well, supposing that you wanted to change one of the door, oh, I was messing around with the colors of the letters, cornet. And
Uh-huh.
I was trying to do something a little different, make one, the C red or, never mind, that's silly. I don't need to bother you with that now. But what a good job this is. The shadow of that post, the twist of the post, people aren't gonna see that, but you and I can see it now.
Yeah,
And I like that we didn't clone out that edge of the broken molding.
yeah, it works now because of this.
Yeah, I
This,
think it would look, I don't think it would look good at all if it were all white. I think it looks better the way it is.
yeah, I do too.
And you did the green. I didn't notice much of a change in the saturation or the luminance or whatever you did with the green. I like it the way it is. Did you change it?
I did a little.
Mhm.
So we need to knock down one portion of it slightly. So that's where you use the dodge and burn tool, which is over here.
Yeah.
So this right here is a little hot.
Wait a minute, I can't see your, I see it. Okay, there.
So I'm going to burn it in a little bit. That's too big of a brush, but so I'm going to burn that in. So I might have to, okay, so I'm burning in can you see up here at the top, it says shadows?
Oh, yeah, I see it. Yeah.
So you have to move from that to midtones in order to do everything. And
I
then
don't
to
think,
highlights,
I don't think it's looking as good.
you like it better with more green?
No, I like it. Yeah, it stands out too much. It's jumping out at me. I think it's
Well,
distracting.
I'm darkening it, right? I'm burning it.
Well, it just looks like it's maybe too saturated. I guess it's okay. Now, see, not to me at this level, it looks like distracting. It's pulling my eye to that
Yeah,
lighter green.
yeah, that's why I was saying we needed to burn it in a little. So
Yeah.
I'll burn it in some more.
That's better. Yeah.
And then I'm going to take and clone a little bit of the wall there.
And why are you choosing to clone in some of the wall?
Because there's a little softness to the leaves right there.
Mm-hmm.
And when I did that, it made it look more normal. I guess it's okay either way.
Yeah. Now, the other thing I was going to do is get rid of that alarm, that fire alarm.
Yeah.
And I would have used the content aware tool. I wanted to ask you about that.
No, so that won't work only because you've got an kind of an unusual shape object. Content aware is good for like landscapes with grasslands or
Mhm,
trees or sky,
mhm.
but it's not going to help you here. So that's where you get the polygon tool. And I'm going to give it 2 pixels of feather so that I can come around it. Once again, I want to do this so that I only affect this part. And now I'm going to clone it again.
And what source are you gonna use? The wall, somewhere on the wall?
Yeah, I'm going to use somewhere on the wall. And since that wall is far away from me, I'm going to soften it down. The hardness, I'm going to make about 16. And the size is going to be 40. Yeah, that's probably fine. So I'm going to take a section of wall. And I have to be careful if I go up too high,
Yeah, the X,
it's going to put that crack in there, which I
Yeah.
don't want. Okay, let's see how that looks. So now you could tell, other people are not going to be able to tell, but you could tell. So I would go reduce the opacity of the clone tool to 66%, make it a little smaller. And then I'm going to clone some of this area along the edge to make it look more.
every time you reposition it, you reposition, oh, never mind, I get it. I get it. That's much better.
Yeah, I'm repositioning it as I go to get different pieces of the wall.
You repositioning it with the option?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So if I wanted a little more of this brighter yellow, I just go up here and click, and then I paint a little bit
Yeah, I
down
get it.
here.
very
So,
nice. That's good. Now this, the edge of that window needs a little work, doesn't it?
Up
We, right, that
here.
upper left corner. I
Yeah,
guess that's okay. That,
no, but let's do it since we're here. Why not? So I'm gonna go to 0. I don't want any feather because I want this to be tight. And then I'm going to come back to my clone tool and bring my opacity back up. And I might go a little smaller even.
now talk to me about opacity. I know what the word means in general, but what does it mean here? Higher opacity means more light comes through it, or is that less light?
Higher opacity means you get 1-to-1, exactly what your source is, it's going to put there.
Okay.
If you lower the opacity, it allows you to blend the edges.
Oh,
And that's the important, it gives you 50% of that value, not 100%.
okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and just paint. Oops. How did it do that? Okay, let's do that one more time. So I got it, my source, and I'm going to paint that edge.
Gotta watch that X, that plus, don't we?
Yeah,
Okay, now there's a part of that frame that's still of that grate on the left side there. I don't know if that's rust or is the natural look, or if that's supposed to look like that. What do you think?
are you talking about this thing or
No.
you talking about this in here?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's just the wall has got some damage to it,
okay, okay.
but I can fix their wall.
No, don't have to fix it. I thought it was normal, I mean, natural, but it's sort of,
Yeah,
now that I look at all this stuff, my eye is drawn to some of this stuff.
yeah.
'Cause-
What do you think of the colors? Is that how you remember it pretty much?
Yeah, well, I like the colors, yeah.
Okay. Good.
So we got rid of the fire alarm ringer. There was something else that I thought, bottom left, what's on the bottom left next to that green door?
That's some sort of pipe coming out of the wall.
Yeah. That's a pipe, yeah. Let's move over to the left and down and see if we can get rid of that pipe there, yeah. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to, yeah, that's a pipe, want to get rid of that for sure.
Yep. So you
And
want,
then the door, I'm gonna ask you about the door in a minute.
okay. So you want 100% opacity for something like this. I'm going to pick a spot up there. And I'm going to come down and I'm going to,
I like that polygonal tool though. That was very helpful.
yes, it makes sure you only get what you want.
Yeah,
You notice that because of the shadows down here, this is kind of greener and darker.
yeah.
So I'm going to have to blend to do that. So I'm going to use a smaller tool. And I'm not going to blend yet. I'm just going to get rid of it. But that kind of looks like a hot spot right now.
Yeah,
Not a nice clean blend. So that's where I'm going to go down to like 40%. And I'll go a little larger.
okay, now show me where you're gonna be your source. You have to click there. Okay, I see it.
There's my source. And now I'm using a little bit softer. It's going to soften that up a little bit. See how that blends it nicely with,
Yeah, that's much nicer.
and then I'm going to take the top and blend that down a little bit too.
Yeah, that came out much nicer. I like it the way it is right now.
And then I'll go back to 100% because I'm going to go and fix whatever this is distracting
Oh, yeah.
to get rid of it.
I don't know. Now I'm looking at it from this distance. It looks, there's too much of an abrupt transition. Dark at the very bottom and then a sudden.
Yep,
I think it'd be nice to have that blended more softly, right?
right. So once again, you're going to use a lower opacity. I'm going to go down to like 30% this time. I'm going to hit this and I'm going to blend it up.
I think that's making it nicer.
And just to,
You know what, now that I'm looking at, if you stop for 1 second, the texture to the right of that service door,
yep,
you want to zoom in again?
right in here.
No, to the right of the server, yeah, right. Move to the left a little bit now.
In
Yeah,
here.
right under, that's it, right there. I like that texture. And if I had a way to do that, I would just copy that exact texture and
Yeah.
move it to where we've been screwing around with, to the far left on the image.